This is a pleasure. Joining me on Duber's discussion today is Rob Launer. Rob is from Johnsburg, a 1997 graduate. Man, the world is has changed a lot for you, my friend, and for Baker bands. But last time you were here was 9 months ago, and you made the grand announcement at the time that you and your wife, Madeline, were due. And since that, young Vinny has entered the world. Tell me what being a daddy's all about.
Yes, so it's great to be back, and I always love my time coming back and getting to sit down with you. And you're right, we were due, and Madeline did, and we have a Vinny in the world now, and he has been a ball of energy. Just very big, 4.5 months. Big hands, big feet, very vocal, letting us know how he's feeling at all times. Loves his mom, tolerates his dad at this point. But yeah, it's been great. A whole new chapter to our lives and a whole new different kind of happy. So super happy. It's been crazy, and it's been fun, and I love every minute of it.
Let's remind folks you live in Cleveland after leaving the wonderful area here, and we're going to get into a little bit about Baker bands. But before we do, I got to ask you, because you told me when you were here, your dad passed on the Cleveland fandom to you, and I still remember you telling me that there was a game you guys went to. I think it was a 4:00 game, and Seattle beat them at the end, and your dad looked at you as you were leaving Cleveland and said, "I'm sorry for making you a Browns fan." Your dad, Tom. And you told me you weren't going to raise Vinny as a Browns fan. He's officially a Bills fan. Am I correct?
That is correct. We decided to take that stress out of his life and never start him down that road of despair and disappointment. And we are going to raise him as a Bills fan. And in fact, his birthday was on January 17th. And it was the day the Bills played the Broncos in the playoffs, and Vinny was born at 8 o'clock in the morning. The Bills playoff game at 4:30 that night. Josh Allen's number, the date of Vinny's birthday, 17. All the stars were aligning.
Wow.
And yeah, I got a chance to hold him. And the Bills game went into overtime, and I told Vinny, this is why you're not a Browns fan. The Browns, they would blow a situation like this in overtime in the playoffs versus a team they were supposed to beat. And we watched Josh Allen then fumble the ball and Denver pick up and score a touchdown to end the Bills season. And I had to immediately apologize to Vinny, but promise him it will get better.
I do got to ask you now, because I'm hearing the name Vinny, and I'm thinking of somebody in Cleveland that played quarterback, Testaverde. Now, I don't know if there's any correlation, or is there something different with Vinny?
No, I mean, it's not a Vinny Testaverde thing, but I do love that name also. Just always have loved the name Vincent, Vinny. I love the movie Pulp Fiction, Vincent Vega. I love the character My Cousin Vinny that Pesci did. I just always thought it was cool. My mom, obviously, we grew up Italian Francos out here in Johnsonburg, PA. So wanted to carry on that Italian tradition just a bit. So we got a Vincent, little Vinny.
Okay, not a Vincente yet?
It depends on what he's doing. He's been all forms of Vinny. He's been Vin, he's been Vince, he's been Vincenzo. It depends. It depends on what he's going through that day and how we're addressing him.
How's it changed you?
I think that my wife may disagree with this, but I am going to say it's made me more patient, and it's also made me more aware that I can't fix everything. Some things other people need to handle. Yeah. So giving up, some of that wanting to be the fixer in every situation, I can't do it with him, which is okay by me. I was very blessed with Madeline, my wife, who handles everything as far as that his needs are concerned. They love each other. We all love each other, but they have a great bond. And when Vinny needs a little fixing, it's mom to the rescue at this point.
That's cool. Now we got to get into here. You're a kid growing up in Johnsonburg, and of course your dad Tom, famous for legendary for his coaching and whatnot. But you're a kid in Johnsburg growing up. Your dad kind of walks in. You got the 2-pack posters and you got the headbands going on, and you were a little bit of a rebel per se around here, but you guys still had that bond. What do you remember from your dad just giving you the look and accept it, I guess, that,
Yeah.
well, you're kind of going to go to your own, you're going to beat to your own drum, buddy.
Yeah, I think that was what I want most for myself, is to accept people and meet them where they are. My dad was the ultimate Elk County resident that had every sort of hunting license, every sort of fishing license. He trapped, enjoyed all of his time in the woods, shooting guns, being at camp. And some of those things I enjoyed as well. Things I didn't enjoy were the fishing, hunting. I never been one to want to hurt an animal, so I took after my mom for that. But my dad, big and burly and all outdoorsman, never pushed that on me. Let me be me, accepted me for who I was. Didn't like the music, told me to turn the music down. Some posters had to be removed from the walls, but always let me be me. And I really appreciate both him and my mom for that. We didn't get many channels out here in Johnsonburg.
Right,
there was
right.
a time where we had 12, and anytime that I could see something cool, I would obsess over it and get the magazine. And I was always into magazines, looking at catalogs, looking at newspapers when I go to friends' house or go to wrestling tournaments out of town, just looking at all the new styles. And coming home wearing some crazy things in Johnsonburg. I don't think many, wearing cross colors and big baggy pants and Tommy Hilfiger were all kind of brand new at that point. And I can probably say I introduced, or was one of the people introducing some of those new fashions that never caught on in Johnsonburg, by the way.
Yeah.
But I was trying to make it a thing out here.
And I think that was around the time that warning labels started coming
Oh
out.
yeah, the
on
parental
music.
advisory labels. Before I could sneak all those things into my house, and then they started putting that black sticker on the bottom that says parental advisory, explicit lyrics, and it got a little bit harder at that point. But I was just getting my license in, so I could hide those in my car.
Yeah. So so you go to school up at Edinburgh. I think you did 7 years of college, got a master's.
Finished some masters.
You were a therapist, marriage therapist, I think, amongst the things, and and you were dealing with kids too, and you found that you were spending more administrative time than doing what you really enjoyed, I think, may sum it up a little bit. And it was time for a career change, a move.
Yeah, absolutely. And I applaud anybody working in the fields of mental health and in the school systems and in education. And it takes a certain person to be able to do that and do that consistently without burning out and giving themselves to the kids and the parents and all the rules and regulations and insurance companies and paperwork. And it's a very, very stressful, long job. And something that, I went to school for 6.5, 7 years to get that master's degree and to get that license to be a therapist. And just, I think that one of the things that professors, failed to tell me is it's not really one-on-one time with your kids, with your clients. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of dealing with insurance. It's a lot of billing. It's a lot of paperwork. And my brain doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. So I realized that quickly. And I was in that profession for, 4, 5 years. And they were very long years until I decided that I could not and wasn't going to do that anymore.
So you were a workout guy, and along the way, it's like you just couldn't find the perfect headband.
That's right.
It drove you nuts, and finally you developed into kind of the hustle harder headgear, so to speak. First of all, that was the slogan for Baker bands. And I'm going back to an interview because I remember you saying, "Well, it ain't the most popular now, but." You kind of picked that up from Puff Daddy, listening to the music, and he's saying, hustle harder, and damn, there it was, your saying come about.
Yeah, we're going to listen to that song after the interview. I haven't heard it in a while. But yeah, just Puffy on the beat in the background. Always listened to Biggie, who was my favorite growing up. Puffy produced a lot of that music. And then, when I started the Baker Bands thing and would be kind of decompressing, working out at the end of the day, there was him in the background of the songs, just talking about going after it and go getting it. And put it on a headband, had a couple rappers wear the headband, and that was it. When I saw some rappers wearing it, that we just tied that into what we do. So that's been our slogan ever since. We're 8 years strong with the Hustle Harder now.
And so you're out in Cleveland, and in your garage, you're starting to make these headbands. And I know you'll probably remember, I reminded you last time, but your first customer was a paintball team.
That's right.
The Cleveland Chaos, I believe. And
yeah,
that kind of got the ball rolling for you. You had to be very proud, you told me, when the guy come and you had them all laid out.
Yeah, that was a great moment. When you go from a vision to seeing things and talking about it and obsessing over it and running samples in the garage and blowing up your friends' phones and they're getting sick of hearing about it and bouncing ideas off of people, to test prints that don't work, to sizes that are too big, the materials that were too loose, to finally getting what you thought at the time was the perfect headband. And then not only thinking you have the perfect headband, but you have a customer who's going to give you money for your idea. That was great. So he came and picked it up literally from my house. I had them all set out on the kitchen table. He thought they were cool, sent us some photos, and then asked when they could get some more. And we kind of had some momentum. We were rolling and trending in the right direction, but that was some validation that we needed, that, people were out proud wearing our product. It was the first time we got like pictures of athletes doing stuff in it. So that was really cool for me.
Yeah, so you're out there, you're doing this, and things are starting to pick up a little bit. I mean, in the meantime, were you a little bit nervous, like maybe I'm going to bite off more than I can chew, or were you so driven, Rob, that this wasn't going to fail?
I remember specifically, I don't remember specifically who the third person was in my kitchen, but I remember there's 3 people in my kitchen, and I turned to one of them, and this was the day that my website, was junk. It was just my Facebook page went live. I said, we're going to make this Baker Band's Facebook page, and once I hit submit and this goes live, there will be no turning this off. And nobody really understood what I was saying. But I did, and I knew that was it. Once I put it out there that this is what I was going to do, that I would never let it die. And I was right. My brain was right. I hit submit, and that Facebook page went live. And it's been, tremendous failures, tons of failures, and tremendous growth since then. But once I started it, I knew that I would never stop. And it's over 8 years now, and we haven't stopped, and we're still small to where we're going to be. But I just knew that once I had it going, that the vision that we had to go from headbands to, we're still not all the way there with the vision, but the full on apparel line, I just knew what we were capable of.
Yeah, and at that time too, it's like, your life is changing. You were kind of working in with different, I guess, sports marketing type things, or
I still had a full-time job doing signage, helmet decals, record boards, anything athletic related. I covered the eastern half of Ohio, so I had a good customer base with coaches that we worked with, but nothing in apparel, just helmets, signs, banners, things of that nature. We always had coaches asking us for apparel. We had to tell them, no, we don't do that. And I would recommend business out to other people before I, kind of was like, wait a minute, I could probably make this for you myself. And I still learned how to start making connections and found somebody to help me do some printing in Cleveland. And after the paintball team, I reached out to some of those connections I had in that world and let them know that I was starting my own thing. And I was going to be selling custom headbands that their team could wear. And I ran 10 samples for 10 coaches I had relationships with. And out of that, we had, I believe it was an 80% success rate. 8 or 9 of those coaches purchased headbands from us. And it quickly went from, we probably won't be able to do this in the garage very long, to let's find some help and let's really upgrade this and put a better plan together. Which the better plan was just to bring on more work. But that's kind of when we transitioned to bringing it to stadiums and parking lots.
Now, the one thing, too, I got to go back, because your mom, Gail, I think, was, she kind of gave you the, do it. If you were having any doubt, she gave you that final push that, listen, you go be you.
She always has done that, and again, she did it with this as well. She's always supported me. Sometimes I just think it's blind support that she just believes in whatever I'm saying, even if it's not the best idea. But she always knows how to reel me in. But with this, she was completely on board. Let me borrow some money to get some things started in the garage with my first printer that I promised we would pay her back. So we were happy when we were able to. She didn't want to ever accept anything, but we kind of had forced her to, take some payments along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, she helped and was supportive with everything, as she's always been, is how I want to be as a parent as well.
Yeah, that's so damn rewarding when you can do that, because you just know that how they felt, and just to be able to do that, Rob, just must make you feel like $1 million.
Anytime I can do anything for her, it is great. And it makes me incredibly happy. And I mean, I'm full of happiness. I'm very blessed in my life. I'm very happy, and I know that I'm blessed. And I've had a great life. And everything that I've been through, and growing up in Johnsonburg, and the moves and the relationships, everything that got me to the point where I am, I'm truly blessed, and I'm appreciative of everything. I do, you always wish, and there's things that you wish you could do. And the one thing, obviously, is I wish I could share this with my dad. I know this dude would be my best salesman. He would have everybody in Elk County wearing our product, coaches all over the state of Pennsylvania. He would have loved going to the tailgates. But, I have my memories, and I'm now going to create new memories with me and Vinny. But that's one thing, you try not to dwell on things that you can't have any handle on, but it would have been very cool for him to be able to see this and what it's grown into and who we're able to work with.
Yeah, and he's with you every day.
Right.
First time I talked to you was in 2019. I was doing the newspaper gig, and you were on your way to Happy Valley for the Penn State game. I called you on a Friday, and you were kind of making, I guess, for lack of a term, generic wares, and you were going to these college stadiums, and you just had to be blown away by the success of people coming up and buying your stuff.
Yeah, so after we started doing it for some of the coaches in Cleveland, I got antsy and thought, well, what could we do on the weekends? I didn't want to sit around. It was kind of, growing and learning how to be an entrepreneur. So we ran some samples of like Cleveland Brown type headbands and Buffalo Bills type headbands, and then eventually Penn State and Ohio State and Michigan. And we started putting teams together, going to these stadiums across the country. And, Penn State was one of our first cities that we would go to with a large team and send people to different parts of the parking lot with our brand new Penn State headbands and walk around in backpacks and walk up to people who are sometimes had a couple cocktails in them at these tailgate parties and show what we had to offer. And hopefully they would say yes. And I mean, we got a lot of yeses. I mean, literally thousands of more no's. Yeah. But we had to get through the no's to get to the yeses. Yep. And had a good team. But I mean, we would go out there with, full backpacks, and then a second backpack, and then a third backpack. And then, we got to the point where throughout the course of an afternoon, we have a few guys out there going through 5 or 6 packs of backpacks full of headbands per game. And then we got to the point where we're doing Saturday games, and then the Sunday games, and then we go to Monday night football, and then Thursday night football. Then we have somebody in Buffalo, while we had a team in Cleveland. We just started building up teams.
It's kind of crazy too, because now here you are kind of sanctioned by the NCAA, and that's not an easy task, is it?
No, that was a stepping stone and a breakthrough for us once we kind of legitimized everything and no longer had to just put a generic lion on a headband. Now we can do the official Penn State Nittany Lion on our products, and just getting that sticker and that hologram on our products and the NCAA's approval was one of the proudest moments of our journey with this, from a garage to a real time major business. Yeah. Was that NCAA stamp of approval with the entire Big Ten, the SEC, a lot of teams on the West Coast. And that was huge for us. And being able to have our product in stores and our name in stores, and no longer, still loving the tailgating life, but just adding some legitimacy to what we were doing was great.
And here you are now. Then all of a sudden you start getting, you're picking up athletes, making specific gear for them. And now we're just going to flash forward because it's just been an amazing climb. You're doing camps damn near every weekend. You've got some big name players. In fact, this is Friday. You're leaving to go to, I believe, Harrisburg tonight. What's up with the Saturday?
Yeah, tomorrow we're working with one of our favorite athletes. It'll be our 6th time working with him. Former Penn State running back, current Philadelphia Eagle running back, Saquon Barkley, who has been great and supportive and has taken some great photos with our Penn State gear. But not only that, but we have, developed a really good, solid, stable team within Baker Bands. And any given Saturday or Sunday between May and August, we could be at anywhere between 9 to 12 locations working with different athletes. So me personally will be working with Saquon tomorrow. We have a team in Columbus with Carnell Tate, who was just drafted 5th overall by the Tennessee Titans, Ohio State star wide receiver. We have a team in Detroit working with Amon-Ra St. Brown. We have a team in Cincinnati working with T. Higgins. We have a team in Chicago working with DeAndre Swift. And it just keeps going for the next 6 weeks. We start with our baseball players in 2 weeks. One of our first camps is with Mike Trout out in LA. Wow. Then we come back to Giancarlo Stanton in the Bronx over 4th of July. And then we end our season in Bozeman and Billings, Montana, with Justin Lamson, starting quarterback for Montana State. They won the national championship last year. He has just been a great kid to work with. So we've met some incredible athletes along the way. It's been a dream come true, literally.
What's it like dealing with these guys? I mean,
dealing with the athletes is fun. Like 90% of the time you run into a couple guys who are having a bad day, but most of them are very humble, just normal guys. Saquon is one of the most down-to-earth athletes that we've met. Christian McCaffrey is another one that stands out for a huge name, but just completely down-to-earth, great guy. You run into a couple divas, but the athletes are great. The agents aren't the best to work with. I like the athletes. If every athlete could represent themselves, I understand they're busy, but the agents convolute things, and it's a part that I have yet to get used to or yet to enjoy. And I get it. The agents out here are representing these athletes. I'm a hustler. They're a hustler.
Yeah.
They want what's best, but it's kind of like oil and water don't mix.
Yeah,
We're have the same mindset. Like they're trying to get everything out of me.
Yeah.
I'm definitely knowing that's what they're trying to do. So they're difficult to navigate from time to time, and they're all over the place, and I'm 24/7. They're 24/7.
Yeah, right,
like they're all like, it's nothing to get messages at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We've been dealing with the Myles Garrett trade, which happened on Tuesday. Today's Friday. So we have 2 camps with him next weekend in Cleveland. That obviously he's out in Los Angeles now. But just being able to kind of go through and pivot and take merchandise that we had for Myles and being able to accommodate our 2 new Cleveland Browns players, Carson Schlesinger, who was NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year last year, and Casey Concepcion, our first-round pick from Texas Tech, wide receiver, to kind of step in and take Myles' place and get new merchandise in time for them. It's a whirlwind at all times, and there's no rest, especially during this time period. But I love this, and I love the hustle, and I love the grind, and I love the fact that I have a supportive wife, and I love my team who helps make all this come true, that I get to live this life.
Hey, the agents, show me the money, buddy. Speaking of teams, Alex was with us last time.
Yeah.
And he was wearing many hats. How's he doing?
Alex continues to grow. We gave him, he's grown into the title of Vice President of Brand Development. So, Alex is master's degree level hire, our first full-time hire that we brought on last year to help with all of that side of the ball, if you will. College athlete from the borough, great kid. He's also learning how to deal with agents because That's what I pass them off to.
Right.
Like, okay, Alex, here's the agent. Get a hold of Alex. Alex handles all of our social media stuff. He's great handling the DMs and the requests that we get. Organized, continuing to grow, has a ton to learn. But the best part is he knows that and he's willing to learn and he wants to learn. And he loves this. Yeah. Like, he got lucky. I told him, like, he wanted to be in the sports world. This is what he went to college to do, you know? And he didn't have to have he had one crappy job for 6 months before we kind of met each other, and he's made this transition. So a lot of people don't get this, you know, get into their field this early in life, but 24, he'll be 25 this summer. He has done great. Last weekend, he had 4 days, in Los Angeles with Puka Nacua, fresh out of rehab, by the way, seemed sober and good. Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams, he spent 4 days in LA with them last weekend. Then the weekend before, he spent 4 days in New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, and somewhere else on the East Coast in torrential downpours with Cam Scadaboo, rookie sensation for the Giants. So Alex is a traveled man at this point. He's headed to Columbus tomorrow to run our Carnell Tate camp. That's cool. Yeah, solo camp for Alex tomorrow. He's excited. He's handled everything. You ask him to do it, he'll do it.
Does he remind you of yourself a little bit?
Not yet. He's working.
Oh, good. See, you got
he has it in him. He has it in him.
Yeah, we don't want to get him there.
No, he has it in him. He has the willingness to learn, and he's willing to invest the time. He just, we all have so much to learn. I don't know if I heard this or I thought this, but this is going to be what I'm saying moving forward. Every 6 months, I realized how dumb I was 6 months ago. It's something like you think you have it all figured out, and then 6 months later, you're like, that's how I was running this. That's how I was doing that. And that's been consistent for like the last 8 years now. Every 6 months, I realized that 6 months ago, I didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's constant growth.
Right.
It's like watching your son grow.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Now, just the many products you sell, from the chains, and we'll have the links for the catalogs and stuff. You did work with the Globetrotters. Yeah. This is crazy stuff, buddy. But
I ran out of the tunnel onto the floor at Madison Square Garden this December with the Globetrotters on the announcements to lead off their first appearance in the United States this season for their 100th year at Madison Square Garden with one of my childhood idols from the Charlotte Hornets and New York Knicks, Larry Johnson, sitting courtside.
Grandmama.
I sat. Nobody told me no, and we do a lot of product for the Globetrotters, so I said, can I come to the game at the Garden and get a little tour? They were all accommodating, took me around. I was under the bowls of Madison Square Garden. The photos, man, they have photos like every musician that's came there while they played. I got so many good photos I took of that. But then I'm meeting all the players, and then everybody just kind of let me do my thing. I had this pass on that said all access. So at the beginning, all the security guards were like, who's this big? Like, I didn't fit in with anybody else. I had on a shirt that said hustle harder, a hat with a cat on it, and everybody else is in their Globetrotters gear. And then I was just at the back of the line, their run-out line. They're announcing them. The lights went down. They played some Jay-Z. The Globetrotters ran onto the court, and I was behind them. And the last Globetrotter in front of me said, let's go. And I followed him on the court, recording the whole thing on my cell phone. And I ran onto the floor of Madison Square Garden.
Unbelievable.
It was incredible. And now the Knicks are in the finals right now. And I was on that floor in December.
That's wild.
That was really freaking cool.
What do you find, like, these athletes dealing with you? How do they look at you as like the guru that's making things happen? Is it a mutual respect? Do you think they think, you're probably more important to them than they are to you at some point.
I think that there's a mutual respect. You don't really not every athlete knows what we do. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these things are handled by agents, but there are some that are more hands-on than the other. And they're all very appreciative because we're representing them. Yeah. Like, they have always been the best athlete in grade school, middle school, high school, college, or at the pro level. They've always been the best. They want their camps that they do. They want their gear that they wear. They're all competitive in every aspect of life. If somebody had this design at this camp, we need to do something cooler than that.
Yeah.
So they appreciate us because we're helping them make them look good.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely a mutual respect. And it's fun to collaborate with these guys on their brands and their ideas. And everybody has an idea. Everybody has a vision.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what they want.
Yeah.
Has an idea what they want it to look like. Then we can show them. I mean, I think, I don't get that starstruck around. I still get more starstruck around, I feel like, artists and musicians. It's very rare that an NFL player at this point is like, is a starstruck moment. Saquon is always cool. But I mean, it's they're very, very nice. I would say that for the most part, they're all very respectful and very appreciative of what we're able to do to help them.
Yeah, and it's probably hard for people to grasp. This is what these guys do for a living.
Right.
It's not you roll out of bed and go play football. This is 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So
and
when they get help along the way to help promote themselves, that's a big plus to them.
Yeah, it's never off for these guys, especially with the level of athlete that we're currently working with that are well known at like a grocery store type of athlete, that they're going to be recognized. So when they're out in public, they're on. So they want to be represented and look cool. I mean, they want their product and their name on anything. They don't want it to be, generic. And we don't do generic.
No, and think about it. Some of those guys were from towns just like Johnsonburg.
Oh, yeah.
Too. So there's that humbleness there.
It's always good to be able to relate to these guys and tell them like, oh, when you are working with somebody who's from an area like we are, we always do our homework on athletes. Kyle Schwarber, who's a beast, for the Phillies. He grew up like 40 minutes from Cleveland. He didn't go to any of the major Cleveland schools and not any of the major private schools. Went to a little public school in between Cleveland and Akron. Great dude. Was able to talk to him about his high school. Who else recently? The kid from Erie, the running back for the Steelers, then the Cardinals, James Conner.
Yeah.
Really cool, humble dude, able to kind of connect on, living in Erie, going to Edinburgh. So, yeah, not every guy is a Christian McCaffrey who went to the most expensive private school in Denver with the rest of the Denver Broncos kids and his dad was in the NFL. But very humble. But, there's a lot of these guys that come from towns like Johnsonburg.
One thing you told me last time when we talked was, it's great, all this, but there's still that, the artistic thing and bringing this stuff out. You were almost, I'm not going to say, you were humble about the fact that you don't want to think of yourself as an artist, but you are. Everything you create is artwork. And when that idea, like you said, comes to fruition and this stuff happens, that's living art, man. And that just... that's a side of you that creativity must just blow your mind sometime that you're able to get it from point A to point B, and now you see these guys wearing it. Yeah,
it's amazing when people give you money for something that you created. And I don't think I actually have an official title at Baker Bands, and I'm not necessarily a title person, but a lot of referred to as an entrepreneur or the president of the company. I think that a title that I would be most humbled with, and I would never call myself, would be an artist. But I think that, I love art. I like to collect art. I follow different artists and painters from all over the world in my travels. And when I get to go to cities, I always check out the art gallery. I always will stay downtown so I can see like what they have going on from like a graffiti or in-town art perspective. But I love art and I love paintings, and I'm not a painter myself. I do graphic design, but it is a different form of art that we do, and it is an art. But I definitely, would be I feel very insecure to ever call myself an artist.
Leo's giving me the rolling finger, but there's a couple things I want to touch on here. One was, your dad was kind of a man before his time, because when we had talked, you said he kind of developed some uniforms. And gosh, whenever the Berg Legion or what have you was wearing teal.
Oh, yeah. We had him in the Miami Marlins colors because he would get those catalogs, which I loved every catalog that came in. We just developed our first catalog, and it was all influenced by these coaching catalogs my dad would get in. But yeah, I got to help him to sign the Johnsonburg Legion shirts, and for the first time probably before or ever since. See, we're not blue and gold. They came out in a teal, black, and a little hint of pink.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I get it, man, before his time.
Yeah.
And that just had to make you feel so good just being a part of that.
Loved
too.
it, yeah.
You
And now we're working on, right now we're working with Bill Dilley, Shamrock's coach, the team that my dad founded, on their jerseys for this upcoming year. And it's my first time I get a chance to design the Shamrock jerseys. So these are going to be coming out tough. They have to be the talk of the league.
Yeah.
So it'll be our first year doing the Shamrock jerseys this year, which we're really excited about. We've been doing jerseys for years, and I've been waiting for this opportunity. So I've been bugging them to let us get involved. So we're involved this year.
You are available throughout the country, different places. And I remember you told me somebody from Dick's Sporting Goods was going to get a hold of you. Was that deal ever sealed?
No, we haven't finalized anything with Dick's yet. It's a long process.
Yeah.
It's a process that you can't get frustrated in. Corporate, dealing with people at that level with that many stores across the nation, there's a lot of approvals. There's a lot of hurry up and waiting. Yeah. So we're in the middle of a hurry up and wait point. So they have what they need from us. At this point, we're kind of running at capacity with what we're doing from a camp perspective this summer. But that's something we're definitely looking forward to revisiting once we get to mid-August, the beginning of September, as we kind of slow back down a little bit.
Well, that's kind of a double-edged sword, because having dealt in the magnet business with salesmen that just thought you could pluck these things out of midair,
right?
There does come a point where, as much as I would, I can't.
Right, for sure.
So it's the smart way to do business. Otherwise, you can completely ruin yourself in 2 days.
Yeah, that is not something I'm trying to do.
Yeah, well, I just, like I said, we're going to have links there at Duber's Place to check out some of your wares.
Well, first off, the logo is from our cat Snicks, who passed away 1 year ago. And it was the best decision I ever made with my company, because before Madeline, before Vinny, I didn't have too many serious relationships in my life. I had this cat, which is a big dude with a cat and not a dog. People thought I was a little bit weird.
Yeah,
but
I'm a cat guy.
Yeah, well, with my cat passing, it was the best thing making him my logo. It's not, number one, I get to see him every day still. And number two, I get to talk about Snicks, who died a year ago now, and not seem like a weird cat guy. Yeah. So I still get to talk about my cat every day. He was the inspiration for the logo. He will live on eternally in this logo. And we did pick up two sisters. They're about a year old now, and they are just as loving as Snicks was, a full black cat and a little black tuxedo cat, Skittles and Puddles. And Puddles got named Puddles because she's a little puddle of love and lays there and lets you rub her belly. So yeah, I'm a cat guy. I will always be a cat guy. I feel like I'm always going to be a black cat guy. I don't know. I always like black cats and number 13. So maybe it went along with trying to do things different in the Tupac and Biggie thing.
Wow.
But yeah, black cats, the number 13, rap music, Madeline and Vinny, and art. Those are a lot of things that I love.
So we got Mom, Dad, Vinny, 2 cats. Life just as good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is good. I'm very lucky and living very blessed, and blessed that I'm able to be aware that I'm blessed. Went through some times that I didn't feel this way, but everything is good at this moment and hopefully getting better. And I can't wait to see where we're at 9 months from this interview. You know, It seems like every time we talk to you, which is too long in between getting to sit down with you, but each time that we've been able to talk, it seems like things have been growing a lot in between. So hopefully we have that same growth the next time.
Yeah, because I always, you feel like you got to pinch yourself sometimes. It's like we're beyond that stage. We're in hustle harder mode.
Right.
I mean, life it's unstoppable at this point.
Yeah.
It is what you can make it of, and damn, you sure are an inspiration, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, it's just proof that like you can do it. It doesn't have to be in business. It doesn't have to be in art. It doesn't have to be in working out. It can be in whatever you want. Like you can make If you find something you're passionate about, it doesn't have to be making you money, just brings joy to you. This just is my joy. The money and being able to make a living off of it is one entirely separate thing. But the fact that it brings joy to me every day, and this is something that I wake up loving, I think everybody needs that. Everybody needs something that they look forward to every day. And whether it's you go to your normal job every day and then you have something on the side, or maybe you're passionate about cooking and you come home and you can't wait to try a new recipe, or maybe it's gardening and this is your time of the year when you're going to plant all these new plants, whatever it is, being outdoors, there's a million things. I just think everybody should be passionate. Find something to be passionate about. Just something to, and listen to new music. Don't say the music sucks from when I was a kid, nothing's better. Right. Music gives you hope. Yes. Music is art, and you're listening to art, and musicians are artists, and music changes, and music is inspiration. Don't be stuck in everything. Try new things. Listen to new music. Try new food. There's so much good stuff out there.
Yeah. Seriously, since 2019, after the big sick, and things have been a little rough as of late, that, man, I truly want to live that be kind and do your best to make a difference now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I see people like you doing that every day, and it just gives me a warm and fuzzy, because I am a firm believer in you need joy. Without joy, life is just you're going to be soulless, and it's going to suck you into a vacuum of despair, and you don't need that. So find your joy, whether it's sitting on your front porch, whatever. Yeah. Find some joy, and dude, you bring it to me.
I love that, and I appreciate you so much. And thank you for letting me tell my story. And if we can inspire one person just to be happy and do something kind and give back whenever you can. It doesn't have to be money. It can be your time. It can be an ear. Maybe it's to listen. Maybe it's to help move somebody. Just give back and try to be kind. There's so much negativity right now, and I think that it's up to people to bring joy and change the mood and change the aura. And everybody needs to help each other.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
So follow Rob's story on the Facebook page, and we'll have the other links. And as always, buddy, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.